What is going on, guys? DBG, and tomorrow we are going to be getting new Shades of packs, and this is not a great Shades of packs, if we're being completely honest. This is not a set of cards that I'm super excited for, and the headliners, lads, could be very weak, but we don't know what way they're going to do stats of these cards. There's one specific card though that could make all of this worth it if we are being honest. So we're going to start off with the quote-unquote, well, like the headliner cards, because like the headliner card is basically it's the highest overall card. And the headliner card is, I clicked the wrong thing there. The headliner card is this. The headliner card, obviously you guys saw right there is a Shaedon Sharpe card, but the headliner is supposedly Keegan Murray and Khris Middleton. And if you guys know anything about these two cards, they're not spectacular players in game. Khris Middleton is someone whose regular card is a card that I really don't like, and Keegan Murray stats wise on his main card is terrible. There's no point even looking at that because, well, it's just not even going to be so. It's not even going to be even on the same like stratosphere. Like his regular card's really low overall, and Khris Middleton's obviously is a little bit better. But if you look at Khris Middleton right here, the problem is that release. It's not good. It's inconsistent. If you are shooting pure catch and shoot, every catch feels different. Every time he releases the ball, his feet feel different every time he catches it. He's genuinely he's a tough player to really do anything with. He is in general a tough player to do anything with. So I'm a little bit concerned about this card right here, for being honest. And you might be saying like, oh, his release isn't great, but like Keegan Murray could be really good, or he could be a really good defender. I'm like, sure, he could be a really good defender, but there's no situation where he's going to be worth using over Danny Green. If you want a 3-and-D cone, just use Danny Green. There's no point wasting a 3-and-D cone on a card that's going to be, because of rarity, at least, and I mean at least 300k. Like, there is no chance Middleton's... I'm not going to say there's no chance he's under 300. There's no chance he's under 200, but he's probably going to be 300. Then if you look at Keegan Murray, you might be like, this release doesn't seem too bad. It's awkward. It's really awkward. The only way to really time his release, like, you've got to look at his wrists, but when you're shooting from this side, it's hard to see it. It's hard to see his wrists because the ball and the elbow block it. It's not a bad release by any means. It's just awkward. It has a bit of a weird hitch before you go into shooting animation. And don't think it'll be a bad card. Still though, can't see him being the greatest card in the world. I think he'll be fine. With that release, he'll be objectively fine. But like when we got Nick Batum, who's probably going to do more than him, I can't see him. Like, this release is worse than Batum, so I can't see him being in any way better than Nick Batum, which again can be a little bit of an issue because we just got so many other players. Again, not saying the card's absolutely worthless, but like, also I think it's gonna be great. And then we've got Shaedon Sharpe, and we have got Jalen Green. So with these cards right here, there is one major issue when it comes to Shaedon Sharpe, and it is that his release is on slow timing. So Shaedon Sharpe is somebody that like a lot of people would be excited about. A lot of people thought he was going to headline next week because they were like, well, the real headline is going to be Cade, but obviously the last player we're going to be getting is Chet, which is kind of not a surprise either. With Shaedon Sharpe's player model is pretty nice. Dribbling is not the greatest. His fade's okay. Problem is, again, the release is on slow. It's not a bad release. Don't get me wrong. Shaedon Sharpe can hit. If you give him space, he will hit. But he's going to be a little bit like a smaller Jeremy Sohan. And he's probably not going to play defense like Jeremy Sohan. So if they give him his release on normal timing, it becomes a super good release. But like, even on this timing, it's still a really good release. So, yeah, like if he gets normal timing, he becomes a lot better. But the problem is, again, like sure his dunk animations are good, but like he's a shooting guard small forward. We have a billion shooting guard small forwards in the game, and especially with his release on slow, I don't see again how he's going to be any better than using like a Danny Green or something like that. Especially because we got Benedict Mathurin last week. I think that's kind of a big one. And then with Jalen Green as a player that I was kind of excited about. But I haven't because a lot of people have hyped up Jalen Green. But Jalen Green is a little bit iffy. And I do just want to say that like he is, as far as cards go, I think iffy is the best way to describe him. It's not like he's a bad card. Release is not great. He has a weird kind of Lonzo-esque upper. I mean, like rookie Lonzo-esque upper. But the thing is, though, he does have the Pro 3 fade, which is actually, if you shoot that in slow fades, super effective. It's like a poor man's tray fade. But it's really, really nice off that. Release is looking okay. Obviously, both of these guys are going to be able to dunk the ball really, really well. Neither of them have the greatest dribbles. Neither of them have Jordan dribble style. A Trey dribble style is alright. Like Trey probably gets you the fastest crossover burst, so I'm not going to say that his dribble style is bad. He's still going to dunk it, but the issue with him is that his player build in-game is tiny. So his player build is really, really small, and he has an iffy release. Look, I don't think he's going to be bad, but I mean, as someone that we'd expect to be almost like a co-headliner this set, I'm really not excited about this card. But, now we're on to the big guns. Shaun Livingston and Dyson Daniels. So because Dyson Daniels is being compared to Shaun Livingston, Dyson Daniels is not getting more than a 72 rated 3-ball. But at the same time, Livingston's a damn good player in this game other than the 3-ball. And also, Dyson Daniels is not 6'8", he is 6'6". But if you want to look at Shaun Livingston, who's going to be the tallest point guard in the game, with Dyson Daniels the second tallest, this is the first year ever Shaun Livingston gets a good release. Like, it's just Draymond's, is it? This is just Draymond's release. They gave Livingston Draymond release. So if we somehow see Livingston with like a 65 rated 3-ball, he's going to be insane. Like, if you have a primary ball handler beside him and allows you to run a 6'7" point guard who's going to be probably get a 93, 94 mid-range shot who can dunk and use that point guard as a damn screener, it's going to be huge. As well, obviously, not going to be the biggest thing in the world, but he will be able to hit those post fades. So it's an interesting one with Livingston because he has had a bum release the last few years, but his release is actually really, really good this year. But then there's Dyson Daniels, who is like... Now, Dyson Daniels, for this set of cards right here, is going to be the guy where you're like, okay. So this is why we open. This is where we're going. He's probably going to be a top 6 or 7 point guy in the game. So he's got a release on quick. A 69 rated 3-ball base. Not going above 75. But like if you look at this card right here, he is you can consistently green with his gold card. And that's the one thing that I like about some of these cards, that you can consistently green with low ratings. But he's going to get a 3-ball in the 70s. He's got the normal leaner on quick. As well as that, in terms of just getting to the basket, he's got a lengthy player build. He looks taller than 6'6". He gets basic dunk animations. So if we're talking about just overall big point guards, he's probably the best big point guard in the game. There's potential that he gets good defense. And if he gets good defense, if you put him beside a shooting guard that can dribble the ball in any way, you're looking at like easily a top 2 or 3 point guard in the game. Just because of the way the game's played. Driving dunk might be a little bit of an issue. Oh, wow, make it. So I don't see people using him over like Mitchell too much, or even like over D-Rose. But I still think he's going to be a really solid like 3rd string point guard, especially if they go and give him like half dime or half floor general. He just becomes like a significantly better version of Darren Williams. And I'm probably the one person in the world that likes Darren Williams. But yeah, this Dyson Daniels card looks alright. He looks alright. He'll be pretty good, and he is like easily the only player anyone's hyped about. So is this going to be the worst batch of cards in my team? I think even if they juice everyone's stats, unless like Dyson is the only one that's potential to break into anyone's team, nobody else is going to break into anyone's team unless they start messing with releases and give Shaedon Sharpe his release on quick, from slow to quick. Unless they start messing with releases and SIGs, it's going to be a case of how good Dyson Daniels is. And then Dyson Daniels is going to be somewhat affordable because he can be bought for 15,000 VC. So yeah, honestly, the 3 headline cards are going to be absolutely worthless. But you never, like Dyson Daniels himself could be very good. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.